Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be looking at something
Oh, cool.
really wild. It's called Zipf's Law.
Okay.
Have you heard of this?
I have, yeah.
It's this weird pattern that pops up
Right.
everywhere, really.
Yeah.
From like word frequency
Uh,
to like city populations. Even.
yeah.
It basically says like the most common thing, like the most used word in English, I think, is
Right.
it shows up way more often than the second most common
Right.
thing, and so on and so on.
Oh, interesting.
And get this, we still don't fully understand WHY.
Oh, really?
So we've got a stack of articles and research here.
Okay.
Let's dive in and see if we can unravel this mystery together.
It's a fascinating rabbit hole for sure.
Yeah.
What's intriguing is that Zipf's law, it isn't just some,
Right.
like, quirky linguistic phenomenon,
Right.
It shows up in so many unexpected places.
Yeah.
Think about it. City populations, website traffic,
Yeah.
even how quickly we forget things.
Wow.
They all seem to follow this strange, predictable
Yeah.
distribution.
It's like the universe is playing a game of hide and seek with us, like
Yeah.
leaving these clues.
Right.
Our sources mentioned a linguist named George Zipf.
Okay.
He really brought this law into the spotlight, I guess.
Right.
He even gave a specific example using the word sauce
Okay.
to demonstrate how predictable this pattern can be.
So how does that work?
Yeah, so in one of the sources, they talk about how
Yeah.
sauce is ranked 5,555th in a massive database of English words.
Wow.
Using Zipf's law, you could actually predict how often sauce will pop up
Okay.
based on how often the most common word "the" appears.
Interesting.
And the prediction matches reality.
Right.
It's mind-boggling how this seemingly simple mathematical formula can capture such a complex phenomenon.
Right.
It's almost like Zipf stumbled upon a secret code underlying
Okay.
like the fabric of reality.
Yeah.
So how do we even begin to explain this? Where do we start?
Well, one of the earliest explanations comes from Zipf himself,
Okay.
the principle of least effort.
Oh.
The idea is that we, as speakers, we want to communicate
Right.
efficiently.
Uh-huh.
So we tend to use fewer, more common words.
Okay.
But listeners, they
Yeah.
want clarity,
Right.
which requires, more
Yeah.
specific words.
Right.
Zipf thought this constant push and pull between efficiency and clarity
Okay.
led to the pattern we see.
That makes sense, right. We're always trying to strike that balance
Yeah.
between being lazy with our language
Right.
and making sure we get our point across.
Exactly.
The sources also mention that these short, common words might act like
Oh, okay.
mental shortcuts,
Okay.
helping our brains process information more quickly.
That's right.
Yeah.
But then things get even more interesting when we bring in Benoit Mandelbrot,
Okay.
brilliant mathematician who came up with the
Mathematician.
random typing model.
Random tag.
He showed that even randomly hitting keys on a keyboard
What?
generates a Zipfian distribution.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Are you saying my cat walking across the keyboard could accidentally be a linguistic genius?
Haha. Well, not quite.
Okay.
Mandelbrot's point was that there are exponentially more long words than short words.
Right.
In any language, right?
Right.
And when you add in the space bar,
Yeah.
acting as like a random word terminator,
Yeah.
shorter words become statistically more frequent.
Okay.
But even with that random element,
Yeah.
language isn't just about hitting keys randomly.
Right. It's like comparing a monkey banging on a typewriter
Yeah.
to Shakespeare writing a sonnet.
Right.
Both might produce words, but the meaning and the complexity
Exactly.
are worlds apart.
Are worlds apart.
And our sources pointed out how even things like element names or planet names,
Yeah.
things that aren't randomly chosen,
Right.
still follow Zipf's law.
It's so weird.
There's clearly something deeper going on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to make things even more intriguing,
Okay.
studies have shown that when people invent words
Yeah.
for fictional things, like names for alien species,
Okay.
the Zipfian pattern emerges again.
Really?
It seems like our brains might be wired
Wow.
for this kind of distribution,
Yeah.
even when we're being creative.
So random typing might not be the whole story,
Right.
but it does highlight the role of probability and structure in language.
Yeah.
It seems like we need a different angle
Yeah.
to crack this code.
Okay.
What are some of the other explanations out there?
Well, one that keeps popping up is the idea of
Yeah.
preferential attachment,
Preferential attachment.
sometimes called the rich get richer phenomenon.
Okay, rich get richer. Okay.
It's the idea that the more something has, the more it tends to get.
Okay.
Think about
Okay.
well-worn paths on a carpet.
Uh-huh.
Or how viral videos gain more and more views.
Right.
It's like a snowball effect.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
The more snow a snowball collects,
Yes.
the bigger it gets,
Oh.
and the more snow it picks up as it rolls down a hill.
Exactly.
So are you saying language is like a giant snowball of words?
In a way, yes.
Okay.
The idea is that once a word is used,
Right.
it becomes more likely to be used again.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
There's even a simple paperclip chain experiment mentioned in one of our sources
Uh-huh.
that demonstrates how this seemingly simple process can lead to
Okay.
a Zipfian distribution.
Okay.
Just imagine a chain where you keep adding paperclips,
Yeah.
and each new one has a higher chance of attaching to a link
Right.
that already has more clips.
Okay.
You end up with a few links with a ton of paper clips.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of links with just a few.
That's a brilliant way to visualize it.
Yeah.
It makes you realize how even seemingly random actions can lead to these
Right.
predictable patterns.
Exactly.
But there's more to this story, right?
There is, yeah.
I remember the source mentioning something about critical points in conversations.
Ah, yes. That's another piece of the puzzle.
Okay, what was that about?
The idea is that conversations tend to stay on a specific topic for a while
Right.
until a certain point is reached.
Okay.
And then the focus shifts,
Right.
leading to a shift in vocabulary as well.
Right. So it's like when you feel the energy of a conversation change
Exactly.
and suddenly, everyone's using different words and phrases.
Right.
I can totally relate to that. You're
Yeah.
right. Conversations aren't just random streams of words.
No.
They have a flow, a structure.
Uh-huh.
And these shifts in topics definitely influence the vocabulary
Yeah.
we use.
Absolutely.
So are we saying that these critical points,
Yeah.
combined with the principle of least effort
Right.
and preferential attachment,
Uh-huh.
could all be contributing to this Zipfian pattern?
It's a fascinating possibility, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's almost like a perfect storm of factors creating this linguistic order out of what might seem like chaos on the surface.
Yeah.
And the implications of this are pretty mind-blowing.
I'm all ears. Tell me more.
Okay.
What happens when we start looking at the bigger picture? How does this seemingly simple pattern play out in the real world?
Well, prepare to have your mind blown.
Okay.
Did you know that roughly half of any book, conversation, or article is made up of the same 50 to 100 words?
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Are you telling me that despite all the richness and complexity of human language,
It's true.
we're essentially just recycling the same tiny vocabulary
Yeah.
over and over again?
The sources provide some pretty wild examples.
Okay.
One word alone accounts for 6% of everything we say.
Wow.
And if you look at the top 25 most frequently used words,
Okay.
they make up about a third of our entire vocabulary.
Wow.
Bump that up to the top 100, and you've got roughly half of everything we say and write.
That's incredible.
And the craziest part is this pattern holds true across a huge range of texts,
Okay.
from wet, hot American summer
Okay.
to Plato's works,
Wow.
Edgar Allan Poe,
Okay.
and even the Bible.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah,
It makes you wonder about building blocks of language, doesn't it?
it certainly does.
Yeah.
And this brings us to something called
Okay.
hapax legomena,
Hapax legomena.
a fancy term for words
What is that?
that appear only once
Okay.
in a given text or a whole body of work.
Hapax legomena.
Oh.
It sounds like a spell from Harry Potter.
I know, right?
But why are these single-use words so important?
Well, they're more than just oddities.
Okay.
They can be incredibly valuable for understanding ancient languages.
Okay.
Imagine finding a word that appears only once
Yeah?
in all the surviving records of a language.
Oh, wow.
Deciphering its meaning becomes like
Right.
solving a linguistic riddle,
Yeah.
giving us a glimpse into the nuances of a lost world. The source even shared a delightful example of a hapax legomenon, the word quizzaciously,
Quizzaciously.
which means in a mocking manner.
Interesting.
And get this, the only place it was found online was in a book
Okay.
about rare words.
That's hilarious.
You know, right?
It's like a linguistic inside joke.
Yeah,
So while a handful of words seem to dominate our everyday language,
right.
these rare gems are hiding out there waiting to be discovered.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder, if language follows this Zipfian pattern,
Yeah.
does our memory work the same way?
That's a great question.
Do we have like a small set of memories that dominate our thoughts
Yeah.
while others just kind of fade into the background?
That's a great question, and it seems the answer might be yes.
Okay.
One of our sources introduces the word olaka,
Olaka.
and it perfectly captures this idea.
What's it mean?
Olaka describes the feeling of realizing how few days in our lives
Oh,
are truly memorable.
Olaka.
Yeah.
It really resonates.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like our lives are these vast libraries,
Right.
but we can only clearly recall
Mm-hmm.
the titles of a few books.
Exactly.
The rest are just shadowy figures on the shelves.
Just like with language, where a few words dominate our vocabulary.
Right.
Only a fraction of our experiences
Yeah.
truly stick with us.
Think about all the things we forget.
I know, right?
Locker combinations, jokes that once made us laugh,
Yeah.
even the names of people from our past.
It's a bit unsettling, isn't it?
It is. Especially when you think about all the details we forget from
Yeah.
books we've read
Yeah.
or conversations we've had.
Right.
But one of the sources offers a comforting perspective
Oh, whoop.
with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Okay.
He said, "I cannot remember the books I've read any more than the meals I have eaten.
Uh-huh.
Even so, they have made me."
That is a beautiful way to look at it.
Yeah.
Even if the specifics fade,
Yeah.
the essence of those experiences remains, shaping who we are.
Yeah.
So while it's fascinating to explore
Uh-huh.
the mechanisms behind Zipf's law,
Yeah.
it's equally important to consider its deeper implications for how we communicate,
Right.
remember, and ultimately
Yeah.
understand the world around us.
I completely agree. We've only just scratched the surface
Yeah.
of this deep dive, and I'm already hooked.
I know, right?
What other mysteries are hidden within this
Right.
seemingly simple pattern?
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out.
Stay tuned, because in part 2, we'll delve even deeper
Okay.
into the implications of Zipf's law.
Okay.
We'll explore its potential applications, its role in shaping our understanding of information,
Yeah.
and even what it might reveal about the nature of reality itself.
Yeah.
It's going to be an incredible journey.
I can't wait.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Yeah. Welcome back to our deep dive into the fascinating world of Zipf's law.
Yeah.
Last time we kind of explored its mysterious presence and, language, memory, and a whole host of other phenomena.
Yeah. It's wild.
It's amazing to think that this pattern shows up everywhere,
Right.
from the words we use to the way our cities grew.
It really is mind-blowing. It's
Yeah.
like we've uncovered this secret code underlying so much of our world.
I know.
And now that we've, got a grasp on the basics of Zipf's law,
Right.
I'm curious to explore its implications.
Oh, okay.
What happens when we, apply this knowledge to other areas?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it turns out Zipf's law has some pretty significant implications.
Okay.
Especially in fields like artificial intelligence
Oh, okay.
and natural language processing.
Right.
If we can understand how language is structured
Yeah.
based on this principle of, a few words
Mm-hmm.
doing most of the heavy lifting, we
Yeah.
can build much smarter algorithms.
So instead of treating language as this, random jumble of words,
Yeah.
we can use Zipf's law to, give AI a boost.
Yeah.
Help it, understand and process information more efficiently.
Right.
It's like giving them a secret decoder ring for human communication.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
And the applications go even further.
Okay.
Think about data compression and search engine optimization,
Right.
by understanding which words are most frequent.
Uh-huh.
We can compress data more effectively
Right.
and design search algorithms that
Yeah.
prioritize the most relevant terms.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If we know the, VIPs of language,
Mhm.
the words that really matter, we can streamline a lot of processes.
Exactly.
Make things faster and more accurate.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's all about leveraging this inherent structure in language.
Right.
But as with any powerful tool,
Yeah.
it's important to, use it responsibly.
That's good to a point.
Yeah.
We've talked about how Zipf's law can be applied in different fields,
Right.
but I'm also curious about the why behind it all.
Yeah.
Are we any closer to understanding what causes
Right.
this mysterious distribution?
That's the million-dollar question, and unfortunately, there's no easy answer.
Right.
As we discussed earlier,
Uh-huh.
there are several theories out there.
Right.
The principle of least effort,
Mm-hmm.
random typing models,
Yeah.
preferential attachment,
Uh-huh.
critical points in conversations.
It's like we have all these pieces of a puzzle,
Yeah.
but we're still figuring out how they fit together.
Exactly. It's a puzzle that continues to fascinate researchers across many disciplines.
Yeah.
Some believe that a combination of factors is at play,
Okay.
while others are searching for a more elegant,
Right.
unifying explanation.
So the mystery continues.
It does.
But even without a definitive answer,
Yeah.
the journey of exploring Zipf's law has been
It has.
pretty incredible.
Yeah.
We've gone from word frequencies to artificial intelligence to the very essence of how we communicate and process information.
It's amazing how a seemingly simple pattern can lead to such profound insights.
Right.
And it makes you wonder what other hidden patterns are out there just waiting to be discovered.
Well, speaking of hidden patterns,
Uh-huh.
remember that word oloka we mentioned earlier?
Yes.
The awareness of how few days are truly memorable.
It's a poignant concept.
It is.
And it seems like the connection between Zipf's law and memory goes even deeper than we initially thought.
I'm really intrigued by this.
Yeah.
It seems like our brains might operate on a kind of memory hierarchy that mirrors Zipf's law, where our most vivid, emotionally charged memories are like the high-frequency words of our personal narratives.
Yes.
They like stand out, easily recall, shaping our sense of self.
That's a fantastic analogy. Those peak experiences, the ones that really stick with us, become the foundation of our memory landscape. They're the landmarks we navigate by the stories we tell ourselves about who we are.
Exactly.
Right.
But then we have this like vast sea of everyday experiences, the conversations, the commutes, the meals that tend to fade more quickly.
Right.
They're like the less frequent words in our personal dictionaries.
Yeah.
Important for context and texture, but not as readily accessible.
And what's fascinating is that this forgetting isn't necessarily a bad thing. Our brains are constantly filtering and prioritizing information.
It's like our brains are running a constant disk cleanup.
Yeah.
Making space for the most important stuff.
Precisely.
Yeah.
If we held on to every single detail, we'd be overwhelmed with mental clutter.
Right.
Our brains have evolved to focus on what matters most.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it also raises some interesting questions about how we make decisions.
Right.
If our memories are skewed towards those peak experiences, are we making choices based on
great point.
a somewhat distorted view of reality?
And it's something psychologists have studied extensively.
Yeah.
This bias towards the most vivid memories can definitely influence our choices.
It's like how one terrible flight might make you hesitant to fly again.
Exactly.
Even though statistically, air travel is incredibly safe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or how a fantastic first date
Right.
might set unrealistic expectations for future relationships.
Right.
Our brains tend to highlight the extremes and downplay the mundane.
It's fascinating and a little bit unnerving to think about how our memories can shape our perceptions and choices in such subtle ways.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it highlights the importance of being aware of this inherent bias, trying to, make decisions based on a more balanced perspective.
Yeah. So understanding Zipf's law isn't just about like decoding language or marveling at, universal patterns.
Right.
It's about understanding our own minds.
It is.
Our strengths. And our potential blind spots.
It's a powerful tool for self-awareness and critical thinking.
Right.
By recognizing how our memories are structured.
Yeah.
And how easily they can be swayed.
Uh-huh.
We can make more informed choices.
Right.
And navigate the world with a clearer perspective.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like Zipf's law is not just this like abstract concept, but a lens through which we can understand ourselves better.
Absolutely. And it goes even deeper than that.
Okay.
Some researchers believe that Zipf's law might reveal something fundamental about the nature of information itself.
Okay, now we're really getting into the deep end.
I know, right?
Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, the fact that this distribution shows up, not just in language, but in so many diverse areas, suggests there might be a deeper principle at play.
Right.
Some researchers believe it might be connected to the way our brains process information.
Okay.
Or even to some inherent property of complex systems.
So it's like this pattern is a clue.
Yeah.
A fingerprint left behind by some underlying force.
Right.
that shapes reality itself.
Yeah.
It's almost philosophical.
It is.
Yeah.
And it raises some truly mind-boggling questions.
Yeah, like what?
Does the universe speak in Zipfian code?
Wow.
Is this distribution a sign of some inherent order amidst the chaos?
Yeah.
These are questions that scientists and philosophers are still grappling with.
It's incredible to think that something as simple as word frequencies could lead us to such profound questions about the nature of reality.
It is a testament to the power of observation and curiosity. Sometimes the most unexpected patterns can lead us to the most profound insights.
This has been such an incredible journey so far.
It has.
We've gone from word frequencies to the nature of memory to decision-making. Yeah. And now we're contemplating the very fabric of reality.
Yeah.
It's like Zipf's law is this thread that connects all these seemingly disparate ideas.
And we're not done yet.
Oh, really?
There's still so much more to explore.
I'm ready for the next chapter.
Okay.
What other wonders await us in the world of Zipf's law? So we've gone from like words to memories to this like mind-bending idea that Zipf's law might be kind of woven into the very fabric of reality.
I know. It's pretty wild.
It's almost like this pattern is a universal language, whispering secrets about how the universe organizes itself.
It's a pretty profound thought, isn't it?
It is.
And it raises some like fascinating questions about how we perceive and understand the world.
Right.
If our brains are wired to process information in a way that reflects this, Zipfian distribution, does that like shape our reality?
That's a question that could keep us up all night.
I know, right?
But before we get lost in the philosophical weeds, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Right.
The connection between Zipf's law and memory.
Yes, the idea that our most vivid memories, those like peak experiences, are like the high-frequency words of our personal narratives. It's a powerful analogy.
And it got me thinking about how this might actually help us. Like learn and remember things better if our brains naturally prioritize those standout moments. Can we leverage that to our advantage?
Absolutely. There's a whole field of research dedicated to, memory and learning techniques. And any of them tap into this idea of creating vivid, emotionally charged experiences to enhance memory formation.
So it's like hacking our own brains.
Exactly.
Using the principles of Zipf's law to boost our learning power.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
Think about techniques like mnemonics, where you associate information with vivid imagery or stories. Or the idea of spaced repetition, where you revisit information at increasing intervals. These techniques all play into the way our brains naturally prioritize and remember information.
That's so cool.
I know, right?
It's like we can use this knowledge to become like better learners, more efficient thinkers.
It's all about working with rather than against our natural cognitive processes.
I love that perspective. It's empowering to realize that we can actually influence how our brains work. And use these hidden patterns to our advantage.
Absolutely. And it speaks to the beauty of scientific exploration. How something as seemingly obscure as Zipf's law can lead to like practical applications that can improve our lives.
This deep dive has been such an incredible journey.
It has.
We've explored like the hidden patterns of language, memory, and even the nature of reality itself.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's like we've uncovered a whole new way of seeing the world.
I couldn't agree more. And the best part is, this is just the beginning.
Wow.
There's still so much more to discover, so much more to learn.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Zipf's law, we want to leave you with a challenge. Keep exploring. Keep questioning.
Absolutely.
And keep looking for those hidden patterns that connect everything around us.
The universe is full of mysteries.
It really is.
And with a little curiosity, we can unravel them one by one.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible adventure.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
Until next time, keep diving deep.